guys, welcome to the special edition of UnLaced. I am here with the one and only Ericko James.
How you guys doing?
Morning. That was like, I'm a big fan. I'm a really big fan of you. I saw when you were painting the shoes. I don't even know what material you were using, like paint wise. Like what was that?
I mean, it's a little bit of a mixture of both acrylic and monotone thinners. That's one thing that I do compared to other artists or even customizers. If that is, I don't just do fresh out the bottle type of joints. I mean, I pretty much thin all my stuff just because I like the texture of thin, and plus you could burst. It dries quicker.
Yeah.
So it allows you to pretty much get a lot of projects and a lot of various stages done.
Well, yeah, and I saw that, and that was probably like, I saw that, and I remember I emailed you.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
And I didn't probably answer that email.
No, you answered like a day later, and I was like, I gotta get a pair. Like, this would be dope. And this is when I was planning doing the podcast and stuff like that. So I was like, sure, I definitely gotta get a pair. Just sucks to have. And I remember you emailed, he was like, oh yeah, so I was like, would you do I think at the time you didn't do a 6 or a 12, and I was like, do you do a 6 or a 12? He's like, oh yeah, there's, any shoe that you want, and gave me the price. I was like, oh yeah, my pockets aren't,
Oh, you're talking about the foundation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The foundations it's basically this concept that I thought about in college where, I went to my boy's house and he had his baby shoe bronze. So I was like, dude, that'd be pretty rad to do like an older adult shoe, but I wasn't really a big fan of bronzing. I was more so a big fan of stone and statues. So I took a visit to DC for SneakerCon back in 2013, and I was infatuated by all the statues and all the Stone Age buildings out there in Pennsylvania Ave, the White House, of course.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, that'd be pretty rad to execute that on the shoe. So 2013, I couldn't, I wasn't able to do it because I had not hardened the shoe, this and that. And I finally got a hold of it last year, and that's when I came out with the foundation, and it blew up.
Yeah, that's when I knew who you were, and I became a fan. And it was, I remember, I just was like, okay, that's prices. And I don't think I even emailed you back. I was like, okay, this is out of my price range. And I was like, okay, I'm not.
I should have asked for the homie discount.
No, at the time it was like I just followed you, so you probably would have looked back and was like, oh, I'm not hooking it up. But it was one of those things where I'm still planning on getting my own done.
Hey, there we go.
I'm gonna need one because that's gonna be something that's just gonna be like that's gonna be my art on the wall for sure.
Cool, appreciate it, man. Yeah.
And so you did the foundation. I remember you did a art gallery in LA. And I didn't get a chance to go. And this is when you had just I think it was 75 orders of the threes that you did.
It was 23. Yeah.
And again, I remember I was like, okay, Jump Friday. I'm gonna definitely see what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Pockets weren't still right.
Yeah,
pockets still weren't.
Pockets were right.
But you did the gallery. I saw a lot of pictures. I mean, you post a lot of pictures on Instagram.
Yeah, man. I try to post at least 3 to 5 times a day, and it's not because I'm trying to pretty much spam you guys' feed. It's pretty much just because I feel that a lot goes on in my life, and I love to share a lot of stuff. I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh, I gotta post once a week, and I'm cool, that type of thing. It's just more, I love to share my life, and I always feel that sharing your life is a bridge for other people to relate to you. Yeah. Because I've always been a very outgoing, talkative guy. But I never was really one to really relate to anybody. So things I love toys, Japanese toys. So for me to relate to some people in that area is dope.
Yeah. And I see you posted the Gundams.
Huge fan of Gundams.
I remember that. I wasn't a big fan of Gundams. I was a big fan of I don't remember if you remember the show Zoids.
Oh, dude, Zoids.
Man.
Hey, shouts out KB Toys, bro. When y'all closed down, I bought all the Zoids model kits for like $10. Remember that elephant one?
Yeah.
That elephant one was like retail like $170. I bought it in Torrance at the Llama Mall for $10. I bought 5 of them.
See, and I was going broke. Like, my mom was like, you get one every other month.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember me and my homie Jalen, shout out to Jalen, he's in Pittsburgh right now playing football.
Yo, shout out to
I remember me and him were in the front yard all the time, just Zoids, put them together.
All day.
And then,
with that tiger drum.
Yeah,
white tiger drum.
And then just destroy it within, a week or something like that, because, we're kids. We're going to destroy everything.
Yeah.
And I just remember, Zoids was like my show. I made sure I was in front of the TV. Zoids on, okay, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
But I know you posted, but I know that with the Zoids, that's how I kind of got into, I want to say that was kind of like the bridge to anime. Like for me, like I started watching a lot of shows that I probably wouldn't have really watched if I was just randomly just scrolling through. And that was kind of like Cartoon Network kind of just like put me on to like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna start watching these because they're always entertaining. Like, and it's always too serious.
Zoids is always dope though, man. Like I went to Japan and I was I was really young, and I remember Zoids and Gundam, Ultraman, and like it's insane. Like to be able to like bridge, like what you said, bridge it off to anime. And I'm not the biggest fan of anime. I'm not one of those guys that cosplays or goes to anime expo type of thing. But I love storylines, so that's kind of why.
Yeah, that's why I have a love-hate thing with anime, because they will just cut a story and like you will not know what happened because either they stopped doing the manga series for them, or they're just tired of doing the show itself. And it's like, okay, like Attack on Titan is something that got into. It's like, okay, well, and my homie was like, hey, don't watch it because there's no end to it, so you're gonna be mad.
You're gonna keep watching.
I still watched it, and I'm mad now because like, okay, but not even though they're making a live action.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. Yeah. I mean, I got into it through my boy Philip. Shouts out, big homie Philip. And the thing is that, and that's why I always tell people, like, Dragon Ball Z is the best anime of all time. It's not just because it's it's the cool thing now to wear Dragon Ball Z shirts and whatnot, but they always like kept the audience coming, because it'd be like a fight scene, and then like Goku will do one punch, and then it's like next time on Dragon Ball Z, I'd be like, what the fuck? It's just one punch.
It was a whole 30 minutes of talking.
Alright, cool. Sure. Yeah, so it's like my biggest thing is like I remember you remember the Cell series?
Yeah.
So I remember I was in second grade when that happened. It was on Toonami. Remember Toonami? Mm-hmm. And my dad was my coach for we had a basketball game, and I was in second grade, and I faked that I was sick. I was like, I'm sick, Dad, this and that. And Toonami, that new Dragon Ball Z episode was going to come at 5 o'clock, and the game was at 6. So I told my dad, I was like, yo, Dad, I'm sick, I can't play. So right when my dad left, I tuned in Cartoon Network. I still to this day I won't regret that, man. That was a great one.
And I have up to I think season 8 of Dragon Ball Z series. Every time when I moved into my apartment when I moved to San Diego, I didn't have the cable set up yet because I procrastinated, and they was like, oh, we can't come in until later in the week. It's like, all right, cool. I just sat and watched Dragon Ball Z.
All day.
I sat on the couch and I was just like, okay, I'm just going to get through all these because, there's some episodes I missed, and it's like, why not just relive the whole series itself? But I want because I have your hat on. Because this was the first hat I bought. This was the NYC Big Apple.
Sold out in like, I would say, 2 hours.
Because I wake up early, I was like, okay, I need to make sure I get this because my donate I'm gonna be mad. And so then you drop these, and it's more of like, I like how you do on Instagram because it's like a lot of people they'll post something like this and be like, oh, March 18th or December holiday season. You just post it. And then you just see your comments just kind of, I want this, when's it coming out, I want this. And it's like, I'm sitting there like, okay, well, wait, when's it coming out? Is this just a homie? Like, he's just giving, just...
See, it's crazy because, as of right now, like there's no like you've seen the post, like it'll be like tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It'll be like, and that's literally because we just found the source for the hats like today. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's really like there's no plan, no marketing as of yet. You know, now I have a great team on involved with this now, and we're excited to bring on. You guys are going to see that when I do things, I do it 110%.
Yeah.
I try to reach the fullest potential, but it's not to knock the natural joke fact that we really we're not one to have. We're probably never going to have a spring, summer, winter. Winter's coming, Game of Thrones, that type of thing too. Spring, summer, what I'm saying. That's the thing with me is and that's also why I stress essentials, is because it's an essential piece of your wardrobe.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my biggest thing. And I never in my 4 years of being a college dropout and being in this industry that I would be in clothing, and apparel. So for that, that to be it's coming out tomorrow, or it's that type of thing. That's just my style.
And that was one thing me personally, I like it. As a person that I like to know when things are coming out, so I can kind of plan for it.
Yeah.
I like this because it's kind of one of those things where you're kind of just up and you're just kind of okay, he posted it, so it must be coming out, or is it out? And so they have to go to your website and check okay, is it?
Yeah,
see it. So
it's not. Yeah,
and it's it's not.
It's not out because EJ is too busy making Gundams. So I'm gonna post it in 10 minutes, and then the 10 minutes becomes
Yeah, and that was the thing. And so it's I remember like you said, you really kind of just post 3 or 4 times, and you'll notice when I scroll Instagram, I start to notice okay, I'm seeing this heart every single time I scroll. Okay, what's going on? So then I saw you in the Explore page on Instagram, so let's
Shouts out to the Explore page.
Yeah, that's how I find most of the people that I rock. And this, I found you in the Explore page, and so I was like, okay, let me check it out. And I liked it, and I was like, okay, this is from the foundation, so I was like, okay, I really need a pair of those. And so then I followed you, and I was like, okay. Then you came out with the hearts, and I was like, wait, okay, I need one of these, for sure.
Of course.
And so, explain for people that don't know and people that will soon follow you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Explain to them the heart. Is it a broken heart or?
It's not a broken heart. It's an upside down heart. Basically, what it shows is just throughout my life, the success and the struggles that I've faced. But then again, it's also a way of showing whether good or bad, it's all love. You know what I'm saying? And all of us have been wronged or have been for me, it's really just expressing my name and the way I am as a person throughout the industry. It's not like some girl broke up with me and this and that. I mean, granted, it's also about relationships, and I've had dated past girls that put me on friend zone and stuff like that, and it's kind of I'm still here type of thing, So it's a triumph story, and it's also a triumph meaning to it. Is that look, this is a glimpse of EJ's life, an extension of that, and it's through my life. So I mean, it's but by any nature, that's kind of my biggest thing is everybody has a story. Yeah. So I mean, I love stories that are from trials to triumph type of thing. So this was a great expression of that, and knowing that a lot of people really mess with it is a real blessing.
That's dope. You're doing My Heart, which is on the Angels hat. Which shout out to Angels.
Mike Trout.
You did the gallery in LA. Turnout for that was, from what I saw, was great.
Stupid.
Was great.
Yeah, and then I did one here, and that was incredible because it's my hometown.
Yeah.
Long Beach, California, and a lot of my friends, really showed out, and a lot of quote unquote celebrities did too. I didn't know. I was wayside. So, but it was a sellout event, and it was a real blessing. Shout out to Brian, my agent who handles all of curations for my pieces. Shouts out to everybody that came through, and it was crazy. Common Kings, shouts out to my boy Timothy Delgado, Ricky Shucks, Vince Staples, and all these guys. So it was really cool, to really understand that craft and understand that. So this is my first year where like literally everything is falling into pieces, whether it's my art career, clothing, and everything. So and having my name on the stage. So this is ridiculous, like my first year.
Yeah, no, and so that was, and I remember the one that the gallery did, and you had the threes, present.
Yeah.
People got to see them firsthand. I just actually got to see them when
they chill.
They look really dope.
Thanks.
And so 2 or 3 weeks ago, the shoe drop pops up on Instagram. Is Jordan?
Yeah, most of these sneaker blogs, they know as much as we do. Trust me.
Yeah,
trust me.
And they dropped a picture this Jordan rumored to release the What the Threes.
Yeah.
And it was your shoe.
Yeah, of course.
And I remember I commented, I was like, and I added you like, wait, isn't this your shoe?
Yeah.
Because I was like, wait, I've seen the shoe before.
Right.
And so for me, because I 2 weeks ago I talked about the Wu-Tang foams and how it was rumored to come, and they had no detail of Wu-Tang history on that shoe at all, like not even a logo. And I was like, okay, that's terrible. And then that's when people come out like, oh, I did this shoe, this is better than what they did. And so then you have people that, or you have people like, you have Jordan come out with a shoe that's really dope, and then people are like, oh, I did this years ago. They're just copying my style.
That's the thing. Like,
did you feel any kind of like?
I have relationships with Nike. I have relationships with Jordan Brand. Again, I did some work with Jordan Brand. So here's the thing with that is designers are designers for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a knock to people in the sneaker culture, but the colorways that they make and they design aren't just specifically for you, that one person. You know what I'm saying? It's for the masses, right? So unless we're talking about like a Don C collab or a public school collab, it's for them, right? But for the the long stuff, and again, it's not me trying to defend the corporate guys, but it legitimately is because look, like they're on that seat for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So, but Adidas is doing an amazing job. They hear everyone's response. I see their tweets, and they do an amazing job. Asics as well. Shouts out to my man Colin Brinkley at Asics, always looking out Jordan Laurie and all these guys. For me, as somewhat inside the sneaker industry, it's kind of one of those things. And I used to be one of those guys too, where it's like, hey, they stole my stuff. Shoot, we never know. You know what I'm saying? We never know. They probably have, but at the same time, great artists, what? I'm not an artist. So
great
artists steal. So so it's like
I've heard that before.
Great artists copy, great artists steal. Don't steal though; it's bad. Yeah, I'm just saying So if you don't want your stuff to be put out there, it's simple as that. Don't put it out. You know what I'm saying? So
you definitely put your work out there.
You could steal the upside down heart. I don't really care. You know what I'm
saying?
I hope not. I think this is it. This is social media. This is a new age. This is like the new age of social media, and someone you don't even need to copyright or trademark anything. Like you could easily be known. Like if you see a diamond supply.
Yeah.
If you see Supreme, you see Supreme. If somebody steals that,
it's
So it's like with you when you saw the shoe on that sneaker blog, it instantly was you. My phone was blowing up that day. You know what I'm saying? So we're in social media where you can't lie to the audience anymore. You can't that whole thing about posting 1 week a day. That's it. You can't do that anymore because kids. This is what I wanted to say was I'm not scared about the guys that are in the industry right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm not scared about the guys that are in their 30s and 40s doing making millions of dollars designing sneakers. I'm scared about that 13-year-old kid that just learned how to do Photoshop and just got a 2011 MacBook.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And with the messed up mouse key, and they're really just designing. I'm scared about those kids.
And that's what it seems like it's going to. A lot of people, a lot of kids are like, okay, well, I see what's working, so I'm just gonna bite that. So it's like we see your hand painted hearts are working. People are gravitating towards it. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 upside down hearts. You know, something like that. And you're just gonna try to like kind of grab whatever thing that you have. Like, oh, it's similar, so I like them too. And you see a lot with people like with the Bel Air Academy jerseys. Everybody now is selling it. Like, I can't remember exactly who originally dropped it. I think it was Balcony Supply.
There's probably no
it's probably no origin, but it's
probably,
I remember the first person I know who was dropping them, like who was like pushing them out there. Now I know 3 different websites that have the same jersey. It's like, okay, so
we should do that then.
But it was like I was like I wonder how people see, like, okay, well, are you keeping an eye out for that, or are you like, okay, well, I know it's gonna happen, so it's like I'm just kind of like I just gotta continue to grow, or is it one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm peeping game, and so now I need to make sure I keep all my everything, all my T's crossed and my my I's dotted, because I don't want some 13-year-old kid coming out and taking my stuff. And that's I feel like with your work, it's like it's original.
I mean.
And so I just feel like, do you sit at home or do you sit here and say, okay, well, I know somebody's coming, I know people are watching now, so should I change it up?
You know what, dude? My biggest thing is I have various inspirations from various artists as well. I get a lot of bits and pieces, and I can't even lie to you. I have no sense of worry whatsoever, just because they're hand painted and it's my name. You know what I'm saying? So I get the text already. Like, hey, haha, look at this company doing the upside down heart. That's dope. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. Do the upside down heart. Just don't put EJ on there. Then we have a problem. But my biggest thing is creativity without any sort of boundaries. And that's why for me to, I mean, it's like no one owns the heart. You know what I'm saying? Like no one owns. You can do whatever with the heart. Now. So my kind of way of saying like I don't care is because I really just focus on my brand and my team, and once we keep growing, that's going to be an irrelevant statement, because people are just going to know us by the upside down heart.
And so staying on that kind of on that like train of thought. Nike had their press conference 2 weeks ago now. And they had showed the KD 9 that was going to be dropping on the Rio games for Kevin Durant. A lot of people, I don't know if you saw it, but a lot of people was like, it was kind of like Damian Lillard's shoe. Are they biting Adidas? And I know you've had runs with both companies, so I'm not saying anything like, bash one or the other. But is there? Do you when you look at that stuff, do you see like, okay, there's a similarity to that? Like, is it because what is hot, or is it this is where you could have saw this is where they were going to go regardless kind of thing?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is that you have Nike designers going to Adidas. You have Adidas marketing reps going to Nike. You have, so it flip flops. So my thing is the design origin of that really isn't they're biting each other. It's more of that designer. Tinker is an amazing designer who's like literally a guy I look up to. Who literally saved Nike. And you have him designing the Air Max 1, the Air Jordan 3, and all the various projects. I thought the Jordan 23 was incredible. And that's when a lot of people were hating back in the day. I thought that shoe was incredible, and that shoe you could literally throw in a different company, and it would be that shoe, like, you know, and no one would think it'd be a Jordan shoe.
But I think, isn't that where people, like, everybody's like, they don't want that push to new designs? Like, you see a lot of pushback from the 29s when those first dropped, and now even in the 30s, like, everybody's just like, no, we're not.
But it's tough to gravitate to new. It's like it's like when, like, I'll confess, it's like trap music.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? When I first heard of trap music, it was literally like, yo, what is going on? I can't understand this guy. You know what I'm saying? And I kid you not, my cousin blasted Future, Tony Montana, and I'm a big Scarface fan, huge Scarface fan, and Drake's arguably my favorite artist right now. Shouts out Nico, all those guys in the crew. That's when I started liking it, and it took about 2-3 years.
Yeah.
But it took literally consistent drops of Future, and then Dirty Sprite 2 came out, which I thought was arguably one of the best albums of last year. And playing that from, like, I could play that like album from I just fucked your bitch in some Gucci flip flops to F up some commas.
Okay.
And that would be like my turn up album. Like when I travel, like me going to Chicago, like I had that album just playing. But I'm the type of dude where I like 808s and Heartbreaks, another great example. I wasn't even a big fan of 808s and Heartbreaks until I was in college. You know what I'm saying? And my boy who was a musical guy was like trying to break it down, like, yo, this is how great Kanye was. And then I dropped out of school 2011, and then a guy by the name of The Weeknd showed up.
Oh, yeah.
And that's, you know, if you think about it, and then you got Party Next Door, you got Tory Lanez, who's doing an amazing job right now. And then I started getting into that whole house music pop type of scene, Majin Jordan. And dude, if you see my playlist, I have the weirdest OD. My playlist is about the same thing as a white girl on Instagram with 100,000 followers. Okay. You know, that does the protein shakes, you know? So she, you know, she varies.
Yeah,
you know, she
whatever situation.
Yeah,
like,
so
the black community.
So I mean, to kind of vary that down to back to the sneaker design side, it would take a minute for people to really digress to that. Like the Roche Run and even the Boost. Like the Boost, it took about a year, I would say. Because, you know, and then, you know, the magical man himself rocked it, and the rest was history. You know what I'm saying? So it really takes, sometimes in marketing, it takes, okay, we have to get a bunch of people wearing it. Or also we could just get one person to rock it.
So what about the NMDs then? Because there's
I love the NMDs.
They're like, and
no marketing, no whatsoever. I mean, like, well, there is that commercial now.
Yeah, well, I'm saying like when
Avon Shumpert and all those guys.
But I'm saying now, like where it was, where before it was like you had like it was just like, oh, they're dropping this week. It's like, okay, why is everybody going crazy for them? It's like I never had seen anybody wear them, so it's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
What is it that you think that like caused that kind of like? Sorry, because I don't know if you saw the pictures from like New York and
stupid, from, like,
Chicago.
especially in London.
Yeah, that was like. Okay.
I personally think it's dope, you know, because I've witnessed a new culture. It's not even a new culture. It's a culture reinventing themselves, and that's the running culture. Okay. You know, the runners. Yeah. Because I remember when I was collecting sneakers, that culture of collecting running shoes, Air Maxes and whatnot. That was like that small group in high school. That was the cool group. They weren't the cool group as in like the jocks and stuff, but they were cool to where they're themselves, that the bullies don't mess with them and the jocks don't mess with them. They're hipsters. Yeah. So now looking back, you have the tech fleeces, you have the Team Cozy, you know, those guys, you know. So
but I came up in where it was, you had the J's. The J's.
Oh, same here.
As long as you had, you know, if you had the J's, any like the Air Force Ones, that was kind of the big thing when I was going, like the Air Force Ones were like, if you had those, you were in. Jocks wore them, the cool people, like if you had them, you were considered cool. Yeah. If you didn't have them, it was like,
oh, you were lame.
Shoe game. Like, you know, And so that's where it's like I see it where I'm still part of, like, I'm not a big running shoe fan. Like, it's not always been my thing.
Yeah.
Like, I have a couple, it's always good to have, everyday shoes, running around shoes and stuff.
Of course.
But that was never my thing. That was never my thing. I was just, that's me. So it's like, I guess from my point of view, I'm like, okay, wait, where did the shift change? And it's like, I can see where it changed when, you have Kanye coming out now, where that was most recent. And then now you have, like, hype beasts that would, and it's like even the hype beast culture, and like that was the thing, jeans rolled up, let's have some, some road shoes or, a lot of Vans.
Flyknits.
Yeah, Flyknits and everything. And so it was like, I was like, is this a change in is this going back to that where it's like, okay, we don't care about your retro Jordans, we don't care about how OG they are. Let's see what your running shoe games look like.
Yeah, see, like now, and that's why it changes. It's like streetwear. Mm-hmm. You got guys right now that I know in the industry trying to figure out, okay, we got to switch to the more slim fit now. We got to switch to this. Oh snap, we got to get Luka to wear this. We got to get all these guys. Shouts out to my man RJ in the back right now doing his thing. He's the new generation. They're the new generation. I respect that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is when a lot of the OGs are hating on these guys. It's a bunch of weird dudes.
Like why all the
But I fucks with it heavy because this is them. Mm-hmm. My generation, we didn't have a guy like, guys like that, like that, kids that really just express themselves.
Yeah.
Back when I was in, when I was in 10th grade, I was being made fun of because I was wearing Bathe and Ape. My aunt lived in Japan, so I get to, Western Union the money or PayPal the money, and I get the, the flyest Bathe and Ape, and I would get made fun of at school. People are like, why are you wearing a SpongeBob shirt? Why are you wearing a, what's that thing with the cross on the eye? But I liked what I liked because I was a big fan of Cudi, I was a big fan of Lupe, I was a big fan of Kanye, and I was a big fan of Pharrell, huge fan of Pharrell. Eclipse, everybody, Star Trek, and I was a huge fan of that. But in my area, that was not cool. What was cool was wearing American Eagle, Aeropostale and Hollister, and I wasn't about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you remember that? You remember that age, So I was always the one with the Ibisu jeans, and I was huge on Japanese culture, and I remember having the first Vapesta Rostas, and I had I thought I was a Filipino Nigo.
Oh.
Dude, I was being made fun of, and then not only that, I used to line up for shoes. So I used to be 16 years old lining up at foot action over here on the pipe.
Oh, okay.
And I still remember being made fun of because I asked this girl out on a date, and she was like, well, I don't want to date a guy that has more shoes than me.
I know you had talked about the culture and where it left off, and wearing bathing ape and people making fun of you a little bit. Whereas I remember all y'all too, all y'all, dog. Hey, now y'all mad.
I remember all y'all.
But I know for a fact, for me, I grew up with the XXXXXL T-shirts, the jerseys,
damn franchise,
that was.
I did have a white tee.
I did have a white tee. I'm gonna tell you like this: I was the master at the oversized jeans with the T-shirt.
Oh yeah.
Like nobody in my school could touch me with that. Like I was legit, and I used to always have my Carmelos on.
Oh yeah.
And I still got.
Did your Carmelos squeak?
Yes.
Oh, so you have to put the cotton. You have to put the.
Because I used to wear them all the time. I had the Syracuse Carmelo Anthony jersey.
And I'm gonna tell you like Melo fan.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this. Everybody that knows me from middle school and high school knows I used to wear that jersey once a week. Yeah. That was my fit. Like, oh, such and such a show to school day. Okay, yeah, let me dazzle her a little bit, even though she's seen this, all year. But
Jim Boeheim.
Man. Yeah. And so that was my culture. Like that was everybody had the jerseys. Had the Air Force Ones. And then, it grew to, that's when everybody started loving the bathing apes. Like, that was when, you go to a swap meet and find some ridiculous, ones that, they swore you were real. It's like, This is when
far from real.
And this is when they had the SpongeBob, the Zeros.
Oh yeah.
Like this is where everything was fair game. Like we had the airbrush T-shirts. I think I still have one somewhere in a box. Like I had a Baby Taz airbrush triple XL shirt.
We all did.
But I remember that was that was my culture. And then even when you say like the OGs for me were like the OGs like now are kind of opening up to, I won't say opening up, but like
they're forcefully opening.
Yeah, but it was, oh, you weren't collecting shoes in the 90s? Okay, yeah, you can't be part of this club. Like you can't say, oh, you're into shoes. Like you don't know what you're talking about. And I can say, yeah, I don't know. Like I'm not gonna know the origin of every single shoe that's dropped in the 80s. Like I'm not. I don't have a single Air Max shoe in my closet, and it's not because I just don't get them. It's I don't like wearing them. So it's like, so for me that wasn't my thing. I had an pair of Air Max when I was younger. It ended when I was younger. I was off of those. And so I feel like you had that where it's like people are like, oh, what's in your collection? Oh, you don't have Air Maxes? Okay, yeah, you can't be part of this. You have to have the Air Max, or you have to have a certain shoe. And I think it's now where it's like, for me, I have no issue. Like if you have a dope collection, you have a dope collection. Simple and plain. If I like the shoe, I like the shoe. Like your style, like it's cool. But I think it's a lot of people now where it's like you have those OGs and like triple OGs that have storage compartments filled to the top with all kinds of shoes that they probably can't even wear without crumbling now. Saying, oh, if you don't have this, you can't be that. And I feel like now I would want it to be where it's like, oh yeah, I can walk in, somebody that's been in the game for 30, 40 plus years could say, hey, I respect it or anything like that. But I don't think that is. Do you think that's coming anytime soon? Like, is that like something where it's like it's just one thing you have to accept, like how your parents said, oh, they don't make music like we did back in the day, kind of thing.
I mean, Kendrick said it best, respect the OGs. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of, I read that in the Complex article, literally like while my tires were being changed, and I was like, yo, that's genius.
Yeah.
And you gotta respect the OGs, but then again, you have to respect your craft. Mm-hmm. And so kind of where you're at, I do find myself saying, well, back in my day, because I played high school basketball, and I personally think that our time of high school basketball was a lot bigger. Was a lot of bigger competition. You had guys that were literally like 240 pounds, and with tats, and then doing their thing. But then again, there's 50% of EJ that says, well, there's the KDs of the world, the Anthony Davis, these guys that are thoroughbred skinny guys, but they're dominating the league. And I always said it this, like, we grew up on the Kobe's and the LeBrons, whereas the new generation is Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, all these guys. And Damian Lillard, John Wall, of an athletic Russell Westbrook. That's the new generation. Antetokounmpo, from the Bucks. So that's so it's like the new generation, and most of these guys, they don't bulk up until they're in the second, third year of the NBA. So for me to say, it was better during my time, because granted it is my time right now, but for me to tell an 18-year-old kid that's wearing Palace, hey, it was better when we had Neighborhood, or it was better when we had this, or 10 Deep, or Supreme still in, Crooks and Castle, this and that, like that discredits their generation. Let them write their book. Instead of you smearing and putting your chapter 1, let them write their chapter 3 and 4 and 5 and create this book for the next generation. And I think that's the biggest thing why hip hop is at the current state it is, and not even just hip hop, everything else is because you have these guys that are way past their prime, and they're over here dissing the newer cats, and the newer cats are giving the older cats respect.
and that's not even just sneakering. Like that's like we respect, you know, like because for me I'm 25, so I was like I'm not gonna say oh yeah I was an OG. Like and it's like no, like Kobe Bryant is like I'm a big fan of Michael Jordan. I didn't get to see Michael Jordan. I saw Michael Jordan end of
the Wizards
run and then start of Wizards. Like that was the full when I could actually say I had full regulation of memory of seeing Jordan play. And so I can hold on to, oh yeah, Jordan is, you know, the best player, but I have to accept Kobe is like how Derrick Rose said and how Stephen Curry said and how a lot of people said, Kobe is the Jordan of our era. You can't argue it. You know,
right, yeah.
I'm not a Lakers fan, but at the same time, you can't respect. You know, you can't not respect what he did. And I think that's in every
big Portland Jailblazers fan. Yeah.
Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
We're not making the playoffs.
Yeah.
we're not in there. And so, but it was like that was how, you know, that's how it is now. Where it's like everybody's like, oh no, Kobe can't be better than Jordan. LeBron can't be anywhere near Kobe, and I don't think I think game-wise, no. History-wise, no. But you can't argue that LeBron is not, you know, not one of the greatest.
LeBron's the best athlete of all time. I'll give him that.
Yeah. And so, and it's like it's going.
Jordan's the best player.
Yeah, and it's going every sport. Like you have, you know, I'm a Carolina Panthers fan, so
for
Cam
sure.
Newton. So everybody's dabbing, to have respect as a quarterback. It's like he's a quarterback. He's still doing what he's doing. He's the new generation. We like to celebrate when we do something great. I'm gonna if this show gets 100,000 views, best believe me and my friends are in the club popping bottles. I'm having fun
all day.
But and then you know the whole Bryce Harper situation, you know all the math flips. Why you guys have no respect for the game? Go back to having respect. It's like nah, we pay homage when you know It's not like we come into it's like oh yeah we started this from here. Like it starts now.
Yeah.
No, we know about the people. It's like we're doing our thing now.
It's like Bow Wow. I remember Bow Wow had I don't know if he follows me on Instagram or not, but fuck it. I love you and like Mike. I love some of your songs. But, Bow Wow had this video he posted about dabbing. And about Cam Newton, how he was saying, you guys know what that is? That means you're coughing off of weed and you know that type of thing. Yeah. Like, dude, you're just trying to get light. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's when I have like a little bit of fault in it. Is like, why are you hating on somebody that is there now? And it's not like he's doing anything like he's flicking off bro, when Stone Cold Steve Austin was flicking everybody off and you know, beer blasted and stuff like that. You didn't hear anybody complaining.
No, not at all. That was love.
Yeah, that was, I mean, you know, there's all the older guys that I'm pretty sure were complaining, like, oh, WWE's terrible.
Well, I think because the media wasn't as big, so we probably didn't
that's true, you're right. The media wasn't that big. But, like, if you're not in that position, shut up. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, granted, you know, Bow Wow's amazing. I'm pretty sure I loved you in Entourage. But, you know, to me, it was like, yo, that's the style. The you know, the dabbing, that's dope. You know?
And now, for me, it was like me and my friends all the time, like, we couldn't be in that position because we'd be more ignorant than Cam Newton. Like, if I could run over you at any point in my life, if I could decide to tuck and run and nobody can stop me, I'm Terrell Owens kind of arrogant. I'm in cameras. Like I need people to see me.
Our celebration would be so ignorant. We might be like on the 10-game suspension.
We would not they would be like, we're looking forward to the one game Chris is going to play because he's going to get suspended after he scores. Like
they're going to make you score on purpose.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah, just so he can be like, okay, we don't have to deal with him all season. Yeah. And that was my
Ocho Cinco
Hall of Fame jacket. You know, I just see like in the game, it's like in the same community itself, a lot of people just sit. I feel like people want to feel like they have to get a certain shoe or they have to do a certain thing to be like, okay, you guys see me now. Can I get in the club now? Can I be considered a great sneaker collector or a sneaker enthusiast? And you just have like guardians, like the Twitter and Instagram guardians saying. No.
The sneaker Zeus stuff.
It's like, who do we answer to? Like, I would like to know because it's like...
It's funny because I see those same guys, the sneaker Zeuses and those guys, it's like, no, are the same guys lining up for shoes.
And most of them are like 13, too.
And they're like, dude, like it's like, yo, like chill. It's just leather and plastic, and if you're lucky, carbon fiber. You know what I'm saying?
But I think that's where it's like I have an issue with it, but I love it too. Like it's one of those love-hate things where it's like I would hate for people to not feel like they can just join in, because kids tomorrow could be into like, oh, I like this shoe, and that could be their like, okay, I'm in fully completely on this brand now.
Yeah.
And that was for me, like the Citrus 7s was my, okay, I'm totally in. Like I need to know more about what's going on. And,
right.
And that was for me.
Right.
And everybody has that one shoe that they start off with. Everybody starts somewhere, and I feel like that's where I have issues with people. Like, oh, okay, yeah, they're trying to make it to where it's like you have to meet a certain criteria, and it's like there is no criteria. It's just
not at all.
It's shoes. Like it's. Kind of just start anywhere. If I like Chucks and my thing is Chucks, if I have every single Chuck that's ever released, then it's just Chucks.
Yeah.
It's nothing more to that. Yeah. And so I just feel like that was, for me, that's when I look at it, I just look at Instagram and you just see that people are like, oh, you don't even have braids in this collection. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, it's a question like, what does every sneakerhead should have in his closet? It's like,
see, but I know guys that legit spend $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 and just get buy that whole collection out and have that like, I love sneakers now type of thing.
Yeah.
And those guys were the ones that were like thinking it was weird to have a bunch of sneakers like in the early 2000s. You know what I'm saying?
It's investment now. Like people see that. Like,
it's a business now. Yeah. Like back then, the only celebrity collector was DJ AM. Rest in peace. So and then I remember growing into it. What is it? DJ AM, of course. You had Turtle, Entourage, was publicly saying he was a big sneaker collector. And then remember that show, It's the Shoes on ESPN? One of my favorite shows of all time. Bobito Garcia, my man, NYC. That was my biggest thing, and like realizing that celebrities and people of figure are into sneakers. That was pretty cool. Yeah. So now there's all these celebrities, this and that. I'm like, are you guys really liking your shoes, or is it the thing what the shoes could do for you type of thing?
Yeah, exactly. That's I think it's going to be one of those unanswered questions where it's like everybody's just going to know, okay, what is it? What's it going to take? I don't think it takes anything. I think it's just like, be you. Just do your thing. Like,
pretty much it.
Just fall in love with it.
Like what you like, buy what you like, and that's pretty much about it.
Well, thank you so much for letting me come to
the
studio.
No problem.
Thank you for the hat. Thank you for that again. That was this. Where can people check you out? First, where can they?
Well, Ericko James on all platforms, including MySpace. We're bringing that back. Me and Justin Timberlake.
Top 4.
Be in my top 8. ErickoJames.com, and then be on the lookout for a couple other projects. I have my own creative agency too, so I work with a lot of various brands as well as various artists, the Academy. Shout out to Dream, Gray, Brian, everybody over there, Matt, and everybody on board. But just look out, man. You might just hitting it out there. You might see a couple of collabs here and there. But as of right now, the hats are on ErickoJames.com. They're all hand painted as of right now, and by me. So just letting you know from there, and pretty much about it.
That's cool. Thank you.
Bernie 2016.
Oh, come on. There we go. That's how you end it. We're just gonna cut out that. That's how we're gonna end it right there. Like that's what's up. But thank you again for
no problem, man.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right.